Live from Las Vegas, Nevada, it's theCUBE at IBM Edge 2014. Brought to you by IBM. Now here are your hosts, Dave Vellante and Stu Miniman.
Welcome to Las Vegas, everybody. I'm Dave Vellante with Stu Miniman. John Furrier's flying in today. Jeff Frick is going to be here. We got a huge crew. We're at IBM Edge. This is the third year of IBM Edge. IBM Edge is the big storage conference of IBM, but of course it blends in, IBM blends in adjacencies from its systems and technology group, from its software group, its analytics business. As we all know, cloud, mobile, social, big data are all converging, and underneath it all is really having a place to store all this information and then be able to actually act on it and analyze it and store it in an efficient manner, and that's really what Edge is all about. This is, as I said, the third year of Edge. The first year theCUBE was there, we were down in Orlando. It was a smaller conference, really the attendance is starting to explode. Last year we were at Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, probably about 3,500 people. There are more than 5,000 people here this year. There's a number of parallel tracks going on. There's a technical edge, there's a partner conference going on, there's technical training for practitioners. So a lot of action, but the big news really here, Stu, is really around software-defined storage. IBM is laying down the gauntlet and really differentiating from others in the marketplace, particularly EMC, who announced a couple weeks ago, really at this same venue, Viper 2.0, IBM trying to differentiate what it's doing in software-defined storage. The other big difference between this edge and previous edges, Stu, is IBM is doing a complete refresh of its entire storage portfolio, so the meat on the product bone is much more substantive than it has been in the past. So we're seeing a refresh of not only the introduction of elastic storage, which is IBM's branding of its software-defined storage, but also a refresh of its entire portfolio of storage products, from XIV to SVC, the StoreWise products, tape products, across the board. We're also hearing, we heard today in the analyst session, Stu, how IBM is really positioning the Lenovo partnership, the acquisition of its x86 business by Lenovo. So Stu, we're going to be here covering wall-to-wall coverage for 2 days. We're going to 6 p.m. tonight. We're going to start early tomorrow. We got keynotes in the afternoon. How do you feel?
Yeah, Dave, it's good. As we're tracking in the industry, software's been eating the world, so what is the role of infrastructure going forward? And as IBM laid out, Tom Rosamilia talked to the analysts this morning, infrastructure matters and choosing the right environment is important, but infrastructure is not just this undifferentiated mass in the cloud or on-premise. They talked about creating solutions that work for cloud, for analytics, for mobile environments, and for social business. So really optimizing for some of those environments. Absolutely, Dave, the Lenovo discussion is really one of those undercurrents I'm hearing throughout all the environments I've talked to. I talked to a couple of customers on the way over this morning at breakfast. I talked to a business partner, and they're still trying to wrap their heads around what this deal means, and to be honest, there's a little bit of trepidation from the end users about, I know IBM, I trust them, I buy from them. I don't know if I want to go over to Lenovo, who, of course, Dave, 10 years ago we had the same discussion on the PC side. Today, Lenovo's number one in PCs, and they're not just getting a bunch of assets. So at IBM really emphasized this is not divesting itself from some hardware. They're actually taking 7,500 IBMers, all the support, everything that goes with it, and are going to have a close partnership between IBM and Lenovo going forward. So an area I'm going to spend a lot of time at this show talking about, and I'm even hosting a panel with some of the principals tomorrow.
So let's talk a little bit about what we're going to see here today and tomorrow and all this week. So IBM's software-defined storage strategy is really, it's riding the coattails of a number of IBM innovations. Watson, we all know about Watson and the technology inside of Watson. IBM's bringing that into its software-defined storage portfolio. It's also doing so with a variant of GPFS, IBM's long-standing, very reliable file system. It's a staple of IBM innovations throughout the company's portfolio. SVC and Storewise V7000 for virtualization. If you're going to have software-defined storage, you have to virtualize the back-end storage hardware. IBM has been a leader in storage virtualization. Notably, if you look at EMC's announcement of Viper, it includes vPlex in there as a virtualization engine. IBM has had probably close to a decade of virtualization expertise, and it's bringing that to bear. Yep. As well, the other two pieces, Stu, of IBM's software-defined storage approach are analytics. We heard last year from Ambush Goyal how IBM is going to bring its analytics mojo into the storage business to actually automate and enable orchestration. And the other piece is OpenStack. IBM's got a long-standing history in open source, certainly in Linux. It's a big contributor to OpenStack. It's got 380 people contributing code to OpenStack, and it's going to very heavily, I would say more so than other competitors like EMC, but maybe not so much relative to HP. They're sort of in the middle, but IBM's probably the heaviest emphasis on OpenStack in terms of leaning on things like Swift and other parts of OpenStack, including Icehouse and Cinder.
Yeah, Dave, last year when we came to the show, I had a hard time actually differentiating between storage virtualization and the software-defined messaging. IBM's definitely a leader with SVC. But by the way, on that Lenovo discussion, a few people thought that SVC was getting moved over to Lenovo. IBM is keeping all of its storage assets, and as you said, Dave, big push to integrate things like Watson and all their expert patterns together with the storage. So expecting to see some real meat on the bone as to where the software-defined storage messaging has come from IBM over the last year.
So we're also going to hear a lot about flash. IBM a couple years ago made an acquisition of Texas Memory Systems. That is its fundamental play in flash and in all flash arrays. IBM announced a year ago, April, that it was investing $1 billion in flash. Steve Mills and his organizations have a tendency to plop down big billion-dollar bets, and he's making a $1 billion bet in flash as well. We're going to hear about new management changes. Jamie Thomas is taking over from Ambush Goyal as the head of the storage division. She comes from the software group. She was very involved in running Tivoli. I tweeted out this weekend, Stu, I think I've known every head of IBM storage since Ray Abuzayad, who started AdStar, Advanced Storage and Retrieval, back in the 80s when Akers was thinking about splitting out the company, but Abuzayad and Vanderslice and Ellen Hancock and Andy Monshaw, Brian Truskowski's been on theCUBE. Certainly Andy's been on theCUBE as well, Ambush Goyal last year, and now Jamie Thomas, so we're going to hear from her. She's going to come on theCUBE tomorrow, as is Tom Rosamilia, who runs STG. He took over for Rod Adkins last year, so he's the big man, the big cheese at this conference. So we're going to be going wall to wall, unpacking the announcements, unpacking the portfolio, bigger, faster, better, more efficiency, more function, all tying into software defined, HPC and big data, meet storage. So keep it right there, everybody. We'll be back with our next guest right after this. This is theCUBE. We're live at IBM Edge in Las Vegas.